I have a story I want to share with you. Chances are you've not only heard her name, but you've heard her music endlessly for many years. Her name is Stevie Nicks. She's the lead singer, or one of the lead singers for Fleetwood Mac. Well, Stevie Nicks is in the news now because she did an interview with The Guardian, and in that interview, which covers a lot of different issues, she talks about the abortion that she had back in 1979, and she says that the singer from the Eagles, Don Henley, is the father of that baby. And naturally, this is the kind of thing that people in the pro-life world would fixate on, and I don't mean fixate in a bad way. I mean, I fixated on it as soon as I saw it. And I wanted to just share with you a few things that she said, because it seems to me to kind of give an example of what's wrong with the way people are thinking about abortion. And some of the things that she said in the interview are indicative of that. So this is, by the way, courtesy of the Daily Wire. They have an article kind of condensing the story down to this issue. During this interview with The Guardian, Stevie Nicks talked about her decision to have the unborn baby aborted, noting that Fleetwood Mac had two female vocalists and writers. It was her and Christine McVie. Now, Lindsey Buckingham also, of course, wrote many of their songs, and he sang lead on those. But as she points out, it was not typical. In fact, it was rare, to the point of probably nearly non-existent, that you would have a band with two female lead singers. So that was a big part of her reason, she said, for aborting this baby. Now, I just want you to listen to what she had to say. She said, "Abortion rights, that was really my generation's fight," the singer started, noting the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg as her hero. She said, if President Trump wins this election and puts the judge he wants in, she will absolutely outlaw it and push women back into back alley abortions, which, of course, is not true. Because if Roe versus Wade were overturned, please God it will be, this is me speaking here, then abortion will go back to the states. It will not become instantaneously illegal everywhere, but it will no longer be constitutional. So she talks about how she became pregnant in 1979, and she said that she named this baby Sarah, the baby that she had aborted. There's a bit more to that story, which we'll come to in a minute. But here's the key to understanding her mindset on this, because she's not the least bit sorry that she did this. She said, if I had not had that abortion, I'm pretty sure that there would have been no Fleetwood Mac. There's just no way that I could have had a child then, working as hard as we work constantly. And there were a lot of drugs. I was doing a lot of drugs. I would have had to walk away. And if Nicks, the article says, had walked away from her career, she argues that she would deprive the world of Fleetwood Mac, which had two female vocalists and two lead female writers. She says, quote, "And I knew that the music we were going to bring to the world was going to heal so many people's hearts and make so many people happy. And I thought, you know what? That's really important. There's not another band in the world that has two lead women singers or two lead women writers. That was my world's mission." You get that? So she's pregnant with a baby, and she realizes, oh, man, we got so much great music we're going to play. It's better that this child die than to deprive the world of all that healing music. Now, again, as I told you before, I really, really like Fleetwood Mac's music. I've been following the band since I've attended their first concert that I ever attended was at the Forum in Los Angeles in December of 1977. And I was there, and I saw them doing the Rumors album tour, and it was massive. And from that point forward, I've always liked Fleetwood Mac's music. So I'm not knocking the music, but do you see that there's an imbalance in priorities where you say this child must die so that I can create all this music? The abortion, however, apparently weighed on Stevie Nicks. The singer admitted, as I mentioned a moment ago, in a 2014 interview with Billboard, she said that her song Sarah, that you've been hearing softly in the background right now, that had a connection to her aborted child. Don Henley, she said, told a story years ago about Fleetwood Mac's song Sarah. Billboard asked her in an interview. He said that you got pregnant while the two of you were dating, and Sarah was the name that you gave the unborn baby. Nicks answered, "Had I married Dawn and had that baby, and had she been a girl, I would have named her Sarah. But there was another woman in my life named Sarah who shortly after that became Mick's wife, Sarah Fleetwood." Mick Fleetwood is the drummer for Fleetwood Mac. So what Henley says about the song is accurate, but it's not the entirety of the song. Press Billboard, right, Nicks said. It's accurate, but it's not the entirety of it. Speaking to The Guardian in that interview, Nicks also fantasized about potentially having a family in the 8 years that she was addicted to Klonopin. She said, I always look back and I think, what could I have done during that time? Made a Fleetwood Mac album or a solo record. I could have gotten married or had a baby or adopted one. Let me tell you, if anyone ever tries to put you on Klonopin, run screaming out of the room. She also said that it was, quote, annoying that so many of the men of her generation were able to get married with younger women and start families later in life. She's 72 years old now. She's single, but she still says that she's holding out for possible romance. And I must tell you how sad and disgusting that is to me. I was talking with a friend about this morning, as a matter of fact, before the program. And he said words to the effect that, sometimes it's just better not to know the personal details of some of the people whose music you like. And I can relate to that. Now, I've known about this story because it's been around for a while. Since 2014, and I covered it on this program. But since it's back in the news again, I thought I would mention it to you, just in case you never knew about it. Think about what this means, and think about what Jesus said when he said, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? What does it profit a man to gain the whole world, to sell multi-platinum albums time after time, to sell out huge rock arenas for concerts, to gross millions and tens of millions and maybe hundreds of millions of dollars over a career, to be famous and wealthy and have great homes and wonderful things that you can enjoy that many people don't get a chance to enjoy. And when you get down to it and that life is over and you don't take any of that with you, Jesus says, what does it profit to gain the whole world and then lose your soul? So for me personally, I've known about this abortion. She's talked about the abortion. It's kind of coming up again, but it's a good and I think worthy exercise on your part and my part to stop and reflect upon that. Look at her. She's in the twilight of her career. She's in the twilight of her life. She's 72. And even if she lives another 20 years, that's going to go by very quickly. And the likelihood of somebody living to be 92 nowadays is not so good. So how much time does she have? Who knows? I hope she has a long and happy life, and I hope she dies in the state of grace. But when she indicates that it would be better for her to have had this abortion so that she could bring all this healing, wonderful music, I don't buy that. You want the money, you want the success, you want the fame, you enjoy playing the music, sure, people like it, sure, but they don't do that as a labor of love. These rock bands don't make music and sing and tour as a labor of love and not get paid for it. If they weren't getting paid the big bucks for it, they wouldn't do it. So just think about that. What does it profit you to gain the whole world and lose your soul? And the answer to that, of course, is nothing. You lose big time. There's no bigger big time than to lose that particular situation, to lose your soul, because that's forever and ever. So maybe one thing you can glean from this story is not just the things that we just talked about, but also to pray for people who are like her. Pray for her. Who knows if she has anybody near her who is a believer in Jesus Christ who could speak to her. She lives in L.A. She lives in, just north of LAX. And I know that if she wanted to turn on relevant radio, 93 KHJ is our big Los Angeles blowtorch station, and she could hear it loud and clear. And I kind of doubt, however, that Stevie Nicks is listening to this program. But maybe somebody is who knows her. And if you know her and you care enough about her, make that effort to talk to her about this. She might shut you down. I don't know. I don't know anything about her other than what I see in the press. So I don't know what kind of a person she really is or to what extent she's open to hearing the truth, especially the truth that you can be forgiven for this. You can receive mercy and healing for this if you want to, but only if you want to. God will not force that on you or anyone else. So who knows? Maybe somebody listening right now has some standing in Stevie Nicks' life. For that matter, Don Henley. I don't know whether he had any say in the abortion or not, but he is the father. So if you know Don Henley, if you know Stevie Nicks, and you're listening to this program, maybe this is why God is having you listen, so that you can make an effort to share the truth with them and encourage them to repent. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. We're going to take a break. We will come right back to more of your phone calls. The number is 888-914-9149. This is the Patrick Madrid Show on Relevant Radio and the Relevant Radio app.
For more of the Patrick Madrid Show, visit relevantradio.com/Patrick.